It's a bird. It's a plane? No, it's James Gunn here to save the day. Welcome to the Triple Take. I'm Frank.
I am Manny. I don't even know.
That was good.
I don't even know what to
That
think
was
about that. It's a top tier intro right there. That's
I'm Joseph.
And today, if you haven't guessed it already, we'll be talking about the brand spanking new Super Hombre, the man in the sky. Pulled up just like that too, except it was more close to the face.
There was not as much nipple, but yeah.
Yeah, not as much nipple. It was covered by the suit. But either way.
it's because I'm just super Puerto Rican.
But either way. Probably Rican. Anyway, today we'll be giving our thoughts on this brand new start to the DC cinematic universe. So for the viewers, we will be starting off with our spoiler-free review, and then we'll give you our ratings and our general thoughts on the movie without any spoilers, obviously. And then we'll move into our very spoiler heavy. There will be a warning, a very, very prominent warning. So if you get spoiled from us, it's not our fault. You're not paying attention. The die has been cast. The die has been cast. I would like to start off with my rating. I had high, very high expectations for this movie. I thought it was going to be movie of the year. It is not. It is not. Definitely not. I have a dark horse in that category, but we're not going to get into that. I give it a 8 out of 10. 8 out of 10. Cinematics were off. Some jokes were good. Story was okay. Started off weird. Picked back up towards the middle and the end. Fight scenes were good. But like I said, the cinematic was off in the beginning and the cinematics got a lot better towards the end. I like the risks that they took, such as with certain camera angles. I'm sure you know what I'm talking about if you've seen the movie. But, and the characters were, there's some I like, some I didn't like. I felt like it kind of still led into the same DC-esque feel that we felt before, which was unfortunate. But all in all, still a pretty good movie. I would watch it again. And I'm still excited to see what's going forward.
That's valid. You want me to go?
Yeah, go ahead.
Joseph, go for it. I know Manny's going to have, we got to save Superman for last, so go ahead. Super Puerto Rican.
So, under the notion in James Gunn we trust, I still trust him. I knew to keep my expectations in check to a degree. The movie wasn't as good as I would have hoped.
Smart man.
But it definitely wasn't bad. And I give it an 8 out of 10, mainly because, one, it is very rewatchable, to be honest. So the overall sense that I had took me back to the VHS days, where I would watch, or me and my siblings would rewatch the animated DC shows, such as like Superman and Batman. Because at the end of the day, like, it's not like the plot in this movie is super in-depth. It has its own like layers to it, but it's not like convoluted, as most multi-cinematic universe movies tend to have nowadays. And I'm going to shoot that shot at Marvel, because it's not like you have random plot points that seem to be woven in to try to be expanded later, but there are certain points where you're just like, oh, you could see how certain things that were mentioned could be expanded out later, such as the overall world that they kind of built, with how you have like Guy Gardner, Hawkgirl in it, you know, based off of the trailers. Those hinting at certain other projects that could happen or certain plot points that could possibly happen, but it's not like a main focus. And at the end of the day, it just felt like one of those Saturday morning cartoons after, like, you know, growing up as a kid, you get out of school on Friday, you could stay up late, and then you wake up in the morning to the smell of like breakfast or whatever, and then your parents put on the TV for you. But yeah, you just watch cartoons as you're waking up. So that's how I felt. It's rewatchable. I'll watch the next movies. I mean, I'm committed, I guess. I was entertained. I'm a fan of James Gunn's work, and I look forward to what's next.
You know what? Like, after you said it felt like an episode, facts. Like, that's like the perfect way to sum that up. Like a Justice League animated series episode.
A major complaint I had, because I watched the movie with Manny. Mm-hmm. And the moment I saw the DC, like, Studios logo, right?
Oh, uh-huh.
Yo. Who did the aspect ratio for this movie? Because I'm like it says studio where my chin is, like my chin is the bottom of the word studio, yet my finger is the end of the screen.
Oh, that didn't happen in mine.
And
I
then
thought
when
you
it
talking about the Superman thing.
no, and then the movie started, like in the first like minute, it has the like dialogue on the screen, like the words. Bro, we're looking up. Tell
Oh,
me how like right
that
here it
sucks.
said 3 centuries ago or whatever the heck, and I was just like
5.
5, whatever. How do I see half the word?
You would remember that. Nah,
How do I see the
it was
bottom
something with
half?
your guys' screen.
Wait, how are you saying it's 5? You didn't see the top part of the 3 or the 5. It looked the same.
Because everything was 5 weeks ago, 5 years ago.
No,
That
not
was it.
everything. Some of the things were 3 years ago. There was one that was 3 years ago.
Either which way, I wanted a refund. I'm not gonna lie.
Nah, y'all got
The
finesse.
moment,
I ain't gonna lie.
the
Y'all got
moment,
finesse with
the
that.
moment I saw that, I looked at Manny. I was like, "This can't be real." And then the words
Nah,
came
that
up, and Manny
Joseph
looked at me. He's
hates
like,
that.
"I want to I pay to go to a movie theater. How do you screw that up? You just turn on the screen, make sure it's focused." And apparently, the movie was too fat for the screen. Make that make sense?
Yeah,
But
nah.
yeah,
I know Joseph really hates that too. That's crazy. That sucks.
I'm a simple man. I want my money's worth.
All right, Manny, what are your thoughts? Hit us with a super Puerto Rican.
I thought we would all agree, and we came so close, but I have to be the one to disagree with the 8 out of 10. I was stuck, very, very much stuck between a 7 and an 8 out of 10. This movie's good. This movie's good. I believe this is a 7 out of 10. I am so sorry. I am so sorry to say that because guess what? And I'll say this in complete and utter honesty. My brain says it's a 7 out of 10. My heart tells me that this movie is a 9 out of 10 because the main point of Superman is hope. And that is done throughout this movie incredibly well. I am such a fan of how they took this movie and made it into something, in my opinion, the closest thing I've seen to a superhero movie, but it was a superhero movie made for kids. And I'm going to say that, and that's the truth, because this movie, granted, has adult themes around it, and you get blinded by the adult fact that there is multiple curse words. There is, there's no what do you call that? There's no way I could really put this, but you might be blinded by that fact, but in reality, how Joseph just described it as a Saturday morning cartoon, what are Saturday morning cartoons marketed towards? Kids. Those Batman animated series from back in the day, those Saturday morning cartoons and the Superman and all that, they were catered towards demographic of give or say 5 to about like 15, 16. Granted, I watch them now because I'm still a kid on the inside. That's why I say my heart tells me this is a 9 out of 10. My brain tells me this is a 7 out of 10. When I look at it from a logical standpoint, this movie has many flaws in it. This movie very much does something that I have a very big pet peeve over, and it pissed me off because they had a legendary scene and something happens to ruin that scene because of the jokes. I will be 100% honest in saying that some of these jokes were not good. They were not good. They fell flat. And since I wasn't able to watch Superman again, I watched Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 1. Just to compare
Yo.
James Gunn's work from Superman to Guardians of the Galaxy. Tell me how the script was literally close to the same thing. I am very, very, very sad at the fact that I looked at this so critically, but like I said, in my heart, this is a 9 out of 10. Why? Superman. I love Superman. To bring it back to a previous episode with my anime, One Piece.
Your anime?
It's my anime.
That's crazy. Okay.
It's my world now.
No, I'm just making sure.
So, serious moments that I believe should have remained untouched. James Gunn has a way of trying to make serious moments turn into a joke, and that lands for some people. That didn't land for me, and that's why I think it's more of a 7 out of 10. Plus, I think there's some points of this movie that really drag. So, that's just me. Like I said, my heart, my kid self, this is a 9 out of 10. My brain logically thinking like, dang, as a movie, this is a 7 out of 10. As a superhero movie, I feel like it's justified to be an 8. Does that make sense? Like, I wouldn't be mad at somebody if they told me it was a 7 or an 8. If you go lower than a 7, I think you're trolling. But if you go higher than a 9, I think you're also trolling.
Yeah, I think 9 is the highest. Like, you gotta acknowledge that there's some things that you just can't redeem with.
I mean,
So
in a
that's
way,
me.
you could kind of tailor or credit it to the marketers of the movie, or like, the overall masterminds. Because if
I
you're going to
agree.
cater towards that kid side of things, especially going off of the early, like late 90s, early 2000s animated cartoons, you're going to get two things out of it. You're going to hit the new generation that's currently, like, but whatever kids that just popped out, right? And you're gonna hit the generation that's already established, kind of taking the reins of the world at the moment. Those are like two generations you're hitting at the same time, where like, us being the age that we are, young adults, and just having that semi-nostalgic feeling, like you're like, yeah, like, it's not perfect, it's not bad, but for whatever reason, I really like it. You know what I mean? Like, for a foundational movie, right? Because sure, the DCU had Creature Commandos come out, and that was their first official project. But as a movie, for this really introducing this sliver of the DC multiverse at this point, to be honest, it's not a bad introduction. If anything, like I said before, those plot points that they don't necessarily expand on, but things that are hinted at, I am inclined to see what it's about. I'm inclined to see whatever shows are a part of this universe or whatever other movies that they come out. Because it's interesting. Like, there are certain things that are just like, that they're in the world, but you feel like you don't necessarily need them all interconnecting. That's how, like, you could have a wonderful spin-off show that's just set in this world, and you could literally watch, like, I'm just going to throw, like, Mr. Terrific as just an example. If, let's say they're trying to, or even the reporters like Lois Lane or whatever, like, let's say they're reporting on whatever story or revolves around the plot of this movie. I'm fine just watching a spin-off of that with the whole movie taking place in the background, and this is that extra exposition that'd be like, hey, it was like, this plot point didn't make sense. But the way I feel about the world setup is that if you have a show like that, to fix a plot point, it would just make sense, and it didn't feel so clunked or forced as it could be in the MCU. Does that make sense?
Yes. Some
yeah.
more malleable.
I
Yeah.
think that this take over here from Joseph is a little more recency bias, but
I mean, that's fine.
There's gonna be some aspect to that.
I trust James Gunn. I don't trust whatever movie theater I watch it at. Because ain't no
At
way.
this point.
Every damn movie theater has some freaking
You
problem.
don't like. I went to one movie theater you don't like, and it was fine. But that's crazy.
Can we get into the spoilers, please?
I was just about to do that. Either way, this is your warning. Your warning. Your warning.
Leave it in.
Your warning. Wait, we gotta go lower. Your warning. We're gonna be spitting hard. We're gonna be spitting fast. Kryptonite hard. Let's go. So,
right,
first things first. First things first. Them dudes took the beginning of that movie straight out of Star Wars. They bit it clean off. They bit it clean off. The beginning of that movie was the worst part, in my opinion. 17 years ago, in a galaxy far, far away. Bro, what? Like, cool. It transitioned into like something better, but the beginning, I was just like, when you said that things dragged, that beginning dragged so much to lead into like what it was gonna do. Like when the whole thing with crypto, like it felt like more of a thing you would see more towards the middle of the movie, and it happened in the beginning. It's like maybe not be like a plot that a point that you guys disliked about it.
Okay, so I'm gonna just preface this with the fact that I do agree with you, but the reasoning behind it, I think it was more for the fact that they had already established Superman. And since we already weren't going to get the Superman origin story, they just basically started it as a Saturday morning cartoon. Literally. They started it because usually Saturday morning cartoons start with the hero already beaten up by the villain. Like certain episodes start like that. I agree. But I'm just saying.
I agree with you too.
It played into it.
I agree with what you said. But let me elaborate then. I didn't explain it well. Probably due to the emotions. But you're right, they did try to do that, but I think they didn't do it well. They tried. I see what they were doing, but it dragged a little bit. Like, they could have done it in a better way. And the better way would have been to, like, kind of start it maybe a little bit earlier or a little bit later. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like where they decided to start the story kind of threw off the pace of the movie. if it was purposeful, okay, you did it, but I don't think it was smart, in my opinion.
So,
I feel like
I have a
with
question for you. I
with
have
the
a
hype of
question
this
for you.
movie, this is how you're gonna start the movie. Like I just don't.
I have a question for you.
Go
Did
for
you
it.
feel, because I felt like this, did you feel like it was an excuse to have an opening fight scene?
Yes, that was. I feel like that was one of the excuses. I felt like
So
like you said,
we
it was
all
also
agree
an
on that.
excuse. It was also an excuse to not have the origin story.
The way I felt about the intro, and I don't know if it's because it was made a bit choppy,
Yeah, that too.
or because, like, to Frank's point, if you started the movie in the middle of whatever fight Superman had with the hammer of Bavarian Cream Donut, because that's really the name I'm going to remember.
The Hammer of Baravia.
Bavarian Cream Donut. His helmet was
Ultraman.
basically a donut.
Ultraman.
I know Manny
Anyway.
hates that, bro.
Ultraman.
Anyway,
Go for it. Go for it.
I would have rather have just seen that whole international issue that Superman presented by entering this conflict between these nations, opposed to just it being explained midway through to semi the reporter stuff. Only because, like, if you're gonna be like a Saturday night or a Saturday morning cartoon, realistically speaking, they would have just start hitting with the hammer with being in the middle of that fight. And then you get the gist of it from like some news background thing. That's what I would have done if I directed it.
I agree.
But landing, aside from the text, especially me not being able to see half the text on the screen,
Forgot about that. I saw all of it. So
I don't know if it's because of a good majority of the promotional material was Superman being like beat up in the snow.
that was the beginning,
Or
right? That was the first
The
trailer.
beginning, and I kept seeing that. That was the main thing I was exposed of in terms of the marketing, and then Crypto, like, being a stupid dog beating him up. And then when he gets to the Fortress of Solitude and then gets healed or whatever, the overall vibe that I got that this wasn't a movie, it was like me paying $16 to watch a CW show. That's how it felt like it was assembled, and I could
Not
stay
lying.
home.
I can't
I
even
could
argue
stay-
that.
You see, I'm just saying, you're starting to make the arguments that I made as to why it wasn't an 8, it was a 7. I'm going to go off of your point of the foundational. One, the foundation, I feel like, and I'm going to say this, and I'm going to sound very, very hypocritical right now. They went too far.
With
And what I mean by that is, he wanted to make sure that Superman was established. I think they may have took the establishment a little bit too far.
like they went too deep.
Because obviously you have Ultraman.
We're gonna get to that. We're gonna get to that. We're gonna get to
We
that.
have that, right? And
Yeah.
there's certain elements of Superman's story that I feel, yes, you didn't need to add, but there was some of them towards Lex Luthor's story that you needed to add.
Agreed.
Because it felt a little bit like, okay, how did he get Superman's DNA? Granted, he tells you, but those are the small little things that like you rush over. You know what I'm saying? How did he obtain kryptonite? Because he says he obtained it. You know what I'm saying? Like those are
By the
little
way, that
things
dude's busted. Just saying.
Elemental Man?
Yeah, of course.
Ooh, I got
Ridiculous.
something to say about him too. But I'm just saying, I think
know,
they may
I know.
have took the foundation a little bit too far, which worries me for Batman.
Actually with Batman it might not be as bad.
I only say that because it's already been said it's gonna be Damian. That's the Robin.
All right, yeah, maybe you might be right about that one. I'm not gonna lie.
Maybe it went a little bit too far, but I'm okay with it. You wanna know why?
Yeah, I mean, I'm cool with Damian.
Because here's the thing. Most people, and I'm just saying most casuals, they don't give a Rudy tooty poo about the origin. They just want to see the cooler stuff, which for the casual
Depends on the person,
fans,
I feel like.
yeah, I'm saying
But
the
generally you're
casuals.
right. I think generally you're right.
So I'm just saying that they foundational. I think it went too far, but I'm okay with it.
Okay.
Open to it, but I think we're all talking about the same thing here, and it's the point that I brought up about pacing. It messed up the pacing. It took a while for the movie to kind of catch the wind under its wings, right? Like it took a while for it to gain its steps. It was lagging, and we're just like, and the whole time in the beginning, you're just like, at least for me, I was just like it was like I was just so like I'm not really confused. I was just like, why is it like this? Like why is it start? And like I think it made it worse because I was expecting something crazy. especially in the beginning, and it really threw me off, like bad. Like it took me a while to like even start enjoying it, right? But again, with going past the beginning and leading into his relationship with Lois. Wait, no, actually, we should talk about the Fortress of Solitude. Looked great. The base looked great. I like the way it looked.
No.
I think we should mention that. It looked great.
First off, this movie looks great, and it
Not
has
always.
fundamental flaws inside of it.
Not
I
always.
believe, for the most part, of how they made Metropolis look and
It looks
how they made the Fortress of Solitude look. I'm not a fan of the Superman suit, but I'll just ignore that for now.
But it's not a
because
crazy point.
It's not a crazy enough thing to mention.
I never really cared about his suit.
Him flying, I liked. I loved it. Him
No,
flying.
the camera angle with the POV, yeah, I forgot about that. Yes, good point. With
Cold.
the face, I think it was
Right.
a good.
Most of
shot.
the setting, I'm talking more of the setting. The setting itself, I think they nailed.
So, I mean, the flight was cool. It wasn't anything like super.
It was just different, right?
Whoa! If
was
I
just
had a
different.
preference, I would prefer how Zack Snyder did it with Henry Cavill, to be honest.
Man of
Because
Steel.
at that point, there was force, there was weight behind it. Like, I had my sonic booms, you know what I'm saying? And not even just hearing it, like, in the background, and then people are just looking at it, and he's in the distance, and you hear you see the shockwaves? That does something to me, I ain't gonna lie. But, I mean, it was okay. The Fortress of Solitude was cool. On the outside, it looked very small, I'm not gonna lie, compared to what I'm used to. Because then when you got inside, all you saw, like, you only saw, like, the door and that middle section. That's all you saw. You know what I mean?
Okay.
And that's where, in my brain, it registered as, like, a CW set for one of the shows. It's not too extravagant, but you know there should be more there. But for the sake of whatever, this is all
What they're showing, yeah, is what they're showing, right? And yeah, no. Just the last point on that, like what Joseph's saying about the CW thing. I just want to say that I feel like in general, this movie felt very low budget up until like the middle end, in my opinion. And I'll get into that later, but Joseph's gonna talk about some.
So, speaking of things that, like, you could see, and I don't know, like, because James Gunn has a habit of doing things differently, which is fine. And talking about the DCU as a whole and how it fits in the actual, like, DC world of existence, the moment we're watching this movie and I see the flag say Luthor Corp, that's not LexCorp. What the heck is Luthor Corp? My brain switched to being like, okay, somewhere in the DC multiverse this takes place, and for whatever reason, because this takes place in a different universe within this multiverse, there are going to be things that are going to be very different. And I was like, okay, in that justification, I'm like, okay, I could be lenient with certain things. It gives them, under that notion, it gives them the flexibility to really do whatever they want, such as how Superman fit in this world, such as how this universe feels realistic but yet cartoony in its own way. Because to that point of, like, Superman only being established in this world for about 3 years from what I remember, I don't understand why Lex Luthor has the hatred that he has for Superman, aside from him having nice hair. Because I don't know why Lex Luthor is so petty.
Aside from him being an alien.
Aside from him being an alien, to spend 3 years, only 3 freaking years, to be like, you know what, screw that guy, I'm gonna dedicate my whole company to kill that motherfucker.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. That's how he is.
That's back to the argument of they rushed. They went too far with the foundation.
Yeah, that's how he's supposed to be. It's just that because they didn't set it up right, it felt like there was no actual reason.
That's
Okay,
what I'm
I just
getting at.
want
I
to,
don't
since
feel
we're
there's no
on
reason.
Lex, I want to
Okay.
just know, in your guys' opinion, was Nicholas Hoult, because that's his name, good in the role of Lex?
I
Yeah.
think he was. I think he
I
was
think he
actually
was, too.
phenomenal. I think he's actually.
I think he was
phenomenal.
great. You know, my childhood nostalgia will always be Michael Rosenbaum. I think I said his name right.
Yeah, I think so too. The live action.
That's
Because
the Smallville Lex Luthor, for those of you who don't know.
when I think
So-
Lex, I automatically think the Justice League animated shows. But live action, I
Yeah.
think Michael Rosenbaum.
I gotta look up his name because I don't remember his name. But
What for
the
you?
one from the animated show, that voice actor, bro, that is Lex Luthor to a T
That
in
is
my
that
soul.
is Lex Luthor. That is Lex Luthor. But like you said, yes, I think he did a great job. Actually, amazing.
I think
Surprised me.
I think one of the good points about this movie is the antagonist. I think Nicholas Hoult did his job. Now I'm gonna talk about David Cornsweet. I'm not gonna lie, bro. There are some castings in this movie I disagree with so much. I do not like them in their role. And the worst part is I can myself put them in a role where they would flourish a lot better.
Wait, so you didn't like him as Superman then?
I did not like him as Superman.
I disagree.
No, hold on. Let me phrase that better.
Okay. Fair.
He played Superman great. Superman great.
I think he's one of them.
Clark Kent, on the other hand, no.
I agree. But to be fair,
But I'm gonna
it was short. It was short.
I'm gonna just be honest. It's not that hard to play Superman. Just saying, it's not hard.
I understand what you're saying, but I feel like the James Gunn aspect of that Superman, I like that Superman the most because it's most closely related to the animated version of him, if that makes sense. That's why I like him the most. It's really just preference. If you like Henry Cavill, 100% understand, but I like the way he was like kind of I like the way that this Superman. I like the way he portrays Superman because it gave off that like not cocky but like very early 2000s. Like that's the best way I can explain it. If you look at the animated series where he got the jokes, he's a little bit arrogant because he's semi-quippy because he's strong. You could tell he's trying to not hurt people. And he's trying to hold himself back. Like, he's that type of Superman. Whereas Henry Cavill is more like, I'm beating you up and going through more emotional things, right? It's like, it's a little bit different. Like,
I'll be honest with you. Somebody put a comment in one of the...
Henry Cavill's a little rougher.
I watched IGN's review of Superman. I watched it. One of the comments, and it was one of the most liked comments, was Henry Cavill's Superman is for the adults, whereas David Cornsweet's Superman is for the younger audience.
I disagree.
I could see that. I could kind of see. I mean, after I watched the movie, I was left feeling like Superman didn't feel all powerful.
True.
Which is important.
Yeah,
that's important.
That's how it should be.
It's obviously we all know, when you think of Superman, you think he's invincible. You want to make sure you don't establish him as this almighty powerful guy because then you make the rest of them look like garbage. If you go back to our predictions about Superman Legacy, because they changed the title, I said, and this is one, now that we're getting closer towards it, I said I wanted this to be a Superman movie. This was the cartoon replacement of Superman and Friends. That's what this movie was. Superman and Friends.
Kinda.
Because Mr. Terrific, and I said this again, bro, I'm calling back. We're calling back canonical things right now from the Triple Take. I said if I walk out of that theater and Superman is not the person I want to see the most, there's a problem. Because the person I want to see is Mr. Terrific.
Nah, he wants to go. I'm not going to lie.
He was the star of this movie. Guy Gardner, I'm not going to lie. Nathan Fillion, love you, dude.
Please
you are not him.
No, bro.
You are not him, dude.
Nah, bro, like, he did a great job.
Hold on. Wait.
Okay,
I'm not done. Isabella Merced. Mommy. I
knew you were gonna say that, bro. As soon as I saw her on the screen, I was like, "This man Manny's gonna say this, bro."
You can do no wrong, girl.
Yeah, she was the worst. Worst character.
I do not care. No
character.
No.
Who was?
No.
Who was
the worst character in that movie?
Don't you dare say Elemental Man. Don't you dare say Elemental Man.
In that
and
movie,
don't you dare say Ultraman either.
That worst character in that movie. And I mean this from the bottom of my heart.
I know what he's going to say. Come on, say it.
Blank you, Crypto. I don't like you.
Such a dumb...
You are the worst thing about this movie. Easily.
I thought he was going to say Jimmy.
Me too, honestly. I was like, the last one.
Jimmy!
I ain't gonna lie, Jimmy, I felt like he wasn't there. He was there for no reason.
Human in this movie.
Jimmy was funny.
He was
Jimmy, maybe a line of comics where you are a playboy and this man, James Gunn, said, this is the one. This is the one. I wanted the nerdy Jimmy Olsen.
That's my favorite.
And I got the playboy one. And guess what, bro? You're ugly.
Nah, I ain't gonna lie. Because I watched the movie with my fiance, right? And when that happened, we just looked at each other. We were like, what? He's just a regular dude. Like, what's going on? Like, why is he? It made no sense. So, like, you can tell when someone's a playboy, right? Like, they have the whole vibe about him, but like, he didn't really have that vibe. It felt almost comedic how that was the case, right? You're good. You're good.
No, I'm saying me.
Oh, nah.
I'm,
But you look nothing like a Jimmy, though.
brother, I could have been Jimmy.
You would have been more like a Esteban or something, but...
I'll take it.
That's crazy.
But either way, like, since we're talking about characters, like, I was going to say that for later, but, man, Nathan Fillion, love you as an actor, bro. You're a funny guy. You're in Destiny. Arguably, like, the most favorite character of the Destiny franchise. He should not have been Guy Gardner, bro. Like, he got the funny right. He got the attitude right, but he just doesn't look right, bro. And the whole time I was looking at him, I was like, you look so off. You look like somebody's grandpa trying to be young. Like, it's just terrible. Like, he's too old. He's too old for that role, bro. Like,
Bro, he annoyed me.
like
Just
I
hearing
was
his
like,
voice annoyed me.
like, it just didn't make, like, I don't want to hate on him, bro. But it's really the casting director's fault, bro. Like, there's no way that you said, yeah, he looks like that's a Guy Gardner. Like, no, bro. And your girl, your mommy, she was the worst one. Literally provided.
Pause. Joseph, say mommy.
Mommy.
Literally provided nothing to the story. Nothing. All I heard was. Every 5 seconds, shut up! I get it, you're a hawk! I get it! Shut up! Please be quiet. Like, oh my goodness, like.
I would like to just make a recommendation.
What?
James Gunn, you're probably not watching this, but if you need a Hawkman, I'm in.
Bro, shut up.
I'm in.
I'm tired of this horny guy, bro.
I'm in.
Gracious. There's gonna be a Marvel, DC, everything, bro.
Yelena doesn't end up with anybody, so.
No, one night stand.
Esteban yet. Esteban yet.
Estebanita.
If you need a Hawkman,
Estebani.
if you need a Hawkman that's already established with a collapsed lung, I'm in here.
That's crazy. But not like, I just feel like Mr. Terrific again was probably like the best character in the show.
The movie.
I'm sorry, the movie. It basically was a show. The movie. And I like Lex Luthor. I thought he was.
The best part of the movie?
You could argue that, honestly. Like, you could say he carried the movie.
Second best.
When he shoots the Indian guy.
Yeah, that
when
was
he
crazy.
says,
I'm not even.
Wow. When he says wow, I didn't think it was only gonna take 2 times.
No, he's like, I didn't think it was gonna go that fast.
Yeah. And then he just says, oh, well, I guess I'll just come back with another person you love. And then just leaves. Cold.
Bro, I'm not gonna lie. Like, he hit that cocky, arrogant, hateful. I don't want to say the actual word. The man was.
The word that rhymes with witch?
No. The opposite of that. No. What? No.
It's the opposite of a bee.
Wait a minute.
Say the word.
I have
and
a
I'll
question.
cut it
I have a question. Joseph, is he justified?
Lex Luthor?
Yes. He's talking about.
Is it justified?
That's what I complained about earlier. I'm just like, it seems so like
Yeah, he said it
fast
was
and
opposite.
rushed.
So Magneto. He's not Magneto guy. He's got
No.
Magneto's justified.
Yeah, because Magneto seemingly went
joke
through
is crazy.
years of this stuff. After one, like, this man dedicated his whole
He went through 3 years of stuff. What are you talking about? Is
3
3
years of
years not
COVID.
enough time?
No, I don't know. I went through 3 years of COVID and I'm still here.
Does that
I
make you
think-
justified?
I think Lex Luthor is the epitome of a bad person. Like, he's just a bad person. The way he treated his employees, granted, that was hilarious when he kept dropping the cup. I thought that was hilarious.
Frank, you just reminded me of
And
something.
I thought one of the funniest things he did was when he threw the pencil at the girl and he dragged her out the closet after that.
Another nitpick. Comics are a thing. And in comics, the smartest man alive in DC, it's argued, is Mr. Terrific. He finds out that they made a pocket universe, right? Right? He says, how did they do that? You're the smartest man alive. What do you mean, how? Then the lady comes up to him and says, what are we gonna do? How do we close it? This man said, why are you asking me? You are the smartest man in DC. You sounded like an idiot. Then to make it worse, they made it seem like Lex Luthor's idiots, his lapdogs, were smarter than him because they had the kill switch. They
I don't
knew
think
how to
that's
do
really-
it.
I don't think that really says
They
that.
knew how to do it.
Because they made it, though. Like,
And then this man goes on and says, this is why you don't make a pocket universe. What? Dude, you're the smartest man in DC. Why are you acting like an idiot?
I think you're confusing satire with him being serious.
Like, okay, imagine me.
He wasn't being
and you-
serious the whole time.
And I'm not trying to compare myself to Mr. Terrific, but imagine how I
know
react
you
to
would.
things where I'm given a mess and I'm literally just like, what the heck do you want me to do? You want me to fix the problem that you guys obviously created out of your irresponsible intent?
Yeah.
The problem is you can't fix it. Mr. Terrific can.
Either
He's
way.
an idiot in this movie.
For the most part, watching this movie and seeing Mr. Terrific, I just saw myself in my, ascendant form. I'm like, that's who I need to strive to be. A person to not give a damn and just get stuff done. That's who I strive to be.
Well, hold on. Let's just get back on track here. Right? Let's get back on
Yeah,
track.
and how
When they
Lois
stole-
Lane suddenly knew how to fly.
Let's get back on track here. Hold on.
It's
Let's get back on
intuitive.
track. Let's shelve that. There's so a lot of things about the movie we still haven't talked about yet.
I just want to say that. Lois Lane, I do not like you as well.
She was all right. Like, I never really care. Okay, you know what? I'm a lead into with these characters. I like the parents, the Kents.
Rocket Raccoon?
No, the Kents.
And Jonathan Kent.
Yeah. What are you talking about? Where's Bradley Cooper in this?
He was Jor-El!
It was Superman's dad.
Superman?
That's Bradley Cooper? No, it's not.
Or you're drinking. My God. He didn't watch the movie.
I don't know what Bradley Cooper looks like, I guess.
Looks like a raccoon.
It said in an article, now that I'm looking it up, James Gunn got Bradley Cooper for a cameo in Superman. He's Jor-El.
He's Jor-El.
Jor-El, not Jor-El.
Oh, no, I'm talking about his human parents. I'm talking about the Kents.
I got you.
Yeah, like, I knew he was the dad. I'm over here. I thought you meant the old man was Bradley Cooper. I was like, what? How is that Bradley Cooper?
You're not canon.
That's why I got confused, yeah. That's why I was confused. Okay, anyway. I like them because they were actually seemed like Southern Kansas parents. Right, he's from Kansas. Oh, I kind of forget sometimes, I'm not gonna lie. He's from Kansas, right?
Yes.
But I actually like his parents. I'm comparing this to Man of Steel. Lois Lane, booty, right? Lois
What?
Lane from Man of Steel was booty to me.
Amy Adams?
Yes.
Good. Yeah, that's
Booty.
a terrible take. I'm sorry.
Booty.
I disagree.
I don't care.
In comparison to the Lois Lane I just got, miss me.
I'm saying that as far as the stretch of Lois Lanes that I've gotten, they make me not care about the character in terms of the movies. Because I like the animated one better. I actually like the character a lot, actually. Because she's actually funny, quips, smart, right? But the way they portray her in the movies, I honestly think this one's better than the Amy Adams. The way they portrayed her. She's actually smart, asked questions, felt like a reporter. The first one felt like she was just there, in my opinion. Just emotional support for Superman. You can argue with me if you want, but that's the truth.
I do
When it comes to the parents, huh?
You know, when they were having that interview with
Yeah,
Superman
exactly.
and her, that gray area.
That's Lois Lane. She's a reporter at the end of the day, you know? I like
those
that.
gray philosophical political arguments that people make, I think that's the biggest strength of these movies, because sure, it could be as extravagant as it is, but at the end of the day, if you really look into it, those are the conversations that realistically we would have. What would we do? What right would you have for being simply the strongest thing that we comprehend and
Can just do whatever you want.
Yeah.
Morally. And she's the one that drove that political aspect home, really. Because you see it going around, people are talking about it, but you see it actually becoming a real thing where she's questioning his actions face to face, and he really didn't know why he did it apart from the fact that he just wanted to save people, but he obviously didn't think it through, right? And that's exactly how that happens, in the stories in the comics and the animated series, more from what I remember, right? But when I'm talking about the parents, the thing that I like the most that they did this, not just the fact that they actually sounded Southern. If you think they're from Kansas, they'll have an accent, which I've never heard before in the live action movies. The main thing that I like the most is that they kept the dad alive and they actually had a son to father moment. That is, to me, maybe I'm just biased because I watched Smallville.
You're a softy. Got it.
But that's one of the most important emotional aspects to Superman as a character, for Clark Kent as a character. His Clark Kent, I didn't like it. I agree with Manny. But the fact that he had that conversation with his dad made it better than it was for me before. Because he really does always have a better relationship with his father than his mother, because his dad is really the person that taught him how to be a hero, how to be Superman in general. So the fact that they had that already is really what helped it go from 7. One of the things that made it go from 7 to 8. the movie in general.
Sprinkled through it. But that being probably the biggest message behind it. Like, sure, there was that weird plot twist that wasn't, like, fully fleshed out, aside from everyone being like, oh yeah, Superman was sent here to rule us.
Yeah, that was stupid too. Honestly,
I was just
that was
like-
Well,
stupid.
that's the way it goes.
I know, but the way they did it
mean-
was stupid. Like they barely even acknowledged it.
Like, no one went out of their way to have a point to, like, prove it. Like, let's say if Mr. Terrific had access to the footage to be like, no, it's legit. Like, you know, Luthor
Yeah.
didn't doctor anything.
Yeah,
So, but that was
just
and
like,
then
oh, I know
Superman-
those guys. It's legit.
Like,
Okay.
one
What?
fault to Superman's character was just like, you know, you're this symbol, you understand what you are, you know, you want to be a symbol of these people. And sure, I understand that this traumatic twist would very much break the foundations of your being, but how don't you, like, suddenly have a sense of doubt to be like, you need to confirm to actually have that moment of, like, what am I really supposed to be doing here? Then you have the whole Clark and Pa Kent moment, right? To, like, really
Exactly, that's
solidify,
what-
like, at the end of the
yeah.
day, you're you for you.
I'm going to say that maybe this was to set up Batman. I'm just gonna point that out. Maybe.
I would feel more
Maybe
inclined.
that's
I see
their
what you're saying.
direction.
Like the Batman v Superman kind of aspect to it. Like, oh, this guy might
Yeah,
be
but
dangerous.
without doing the movie, like just going like, well, if he was sent here to destroy us, we need a way to contain him.
Yeah.
Instead of doing it the way they did it in Batman vs Superman, either gonna do it in the way of Batman's going to be like, okay,
He's gonna
this
keep an
guy's
eye on
out
him,
there.
kind of thing.
This guy's out there, and maybe Luthor went about it the wrong way. We need to contain him.
By the way, I think one of the best cameos, but canonically didn't make any sense, was Peacemaker.
No, it does. Don't worry. Season 2.
The show kind of flushes
show.
out. Yeah, but I'm just I was looking
the
at it, I'm just
show.
like, but like I'm walking into this thinking that it's gonna be a fresh start, and I'm just like, I see old people. I'm like, what's going on? Like I got
Because
even more
James
confused.
Gunn said that he would take some of them
Oh, okay, I didn't know
from
that.
there.
Mhm.
And considering the fact that James Gunn used Peacemaker in the Suicide Squad, he just, he took him. So more than likely, there's a very big chance we may get Margot Robbie in this DC as Harley Quinn.
All in all, I look forward to the next one, considering we're supposed
Yeah,
to do
no,
another episode.
100%.
Me too, yeah.
Yeah.
You didn't talk about Ultraman.
Because it wasn't Ultraman.
This
it was
man
Bizarro.
really made Ultraman into Bizarro. You know what? I love Bizarro as a character. I don't know how y'all feel, but I love Bizarro. Great character. Just raw strength, super dumb. Simple, very deadly opponent to Superman. Great fight.
It
Great
wasn't
fight.
like it wasn't
This-
like a big thing, but like all I really wanted was to him to just call him Bizarro. Or when the reveal happened, you could have called him Bizarro instead of Ultraman. We could have changed it, but no, we kept Ultraman. So
Hammer
it
of
is what it
Bravia.
is.
though. Yeah, he's so kind of basically supposed to be like that.
He's an
kinda-
idiot.
Like that strength.
Yeah, but why do you make him
Stupid
look
strength.
like Clark Kent opposed to why did he look like
He's supposed to
Superman?
be disheveled. He's supposed to be
Yeah,
disheveled.
he looked like Superman after Superman comes back from Doomsday. That's what he looked like.
That's true.
But with a
That's
messed up
true.
eye, yes.
Maybe that's why they called him Ultraman and they didn't want to call him Bizarro.
Maybe Lex just wanted to sound cool. I don't know. Or Luthor Corp. Anyway, yeah, but it was the best fight. Actually, like, him going against all the people was also a good fight. Like, that fight scene and the choreography was great. But there's one more character that I was surprised was there, and I was thrown off by the way they presented them, and that was super cool. Kara Zor.
You know what? Stay tuned on the next episode of the Triple Take where I tell you why Supergirl being in Superman was the stupidest thing in that whole movie.
That's going to be in the next one. But there's one more point. And that's the last thing, and I just wanted to say.
So you finessed me and said there was 2 when there was actually 3.
Yes, I lexed you. Anyway, the CGI sometimes was absolutely terrible. That's all I want. That's the last thing I wanted to say. It was terrible sometimes. Like, some of the fights were good, but like generally in the beginning towards like which points I'm talking about. Like, if you watch the movie, it's hard to like really pinpoint specifically, but you're looking at it, it looks good, and then you see you're just like, that's weird. Like, why did it look like that?
That's how I felt about some of the flying. Like, especially with, like, looking at his face, I was like,
You know which part I can point to specifically? Remember when Guy Gardner was throwing up those Green Lantern middle fingers? I was like, wow,
Yeah, no,
this
100%.
this looks terrible. This is terrible. Oh my gosh. Like, those things look like plastic
When he-
green hands
when
coming out the
When he
floor.
did the box to save the kid,
Wait.
that also looked horrible too.
When they were fighting the alien and he used the powers for the first time you really see him, I'm just like, wow. Like, all I was thinking about was was the Green Lantern movie. I was like, they just can't get it right. They just can't get it right because the Green Lantern, the hard light looks terrible. Like, I don't know how you would do that better, but it just looked bad. Like, that was not it. That's the last point I want. All in all, 8 out of 10, 8 out of 10, 7 out of 10. Sometimes the way he was talking, it felt like it was a 6 out of 10. Let us know your...
No.
Shh. I don't interrupt you when you say things. All right? Love you, though. Let us know your rating. Let us know how you feel. Were you as hyped about this as I was? Were you disappointed? Or did it exceed? Did it blow up your expectations?
Lowered them.
It lowered them.
Wow.
How do you feel DCEU will go towards the future? Especially now that I found out that all these
The
canceled shows happen.
DCU.
Oh, the DCEU will go in the future. After me just hearing about these canceled shows, I'm kind of on the fence about that one. I'm not going to lie. Either way, don't forget to follow us on the Triple Take Instagram. Don't forget to join the conversation in the Discord chat. We're always happy to talk. We're always happy to answer questions. Let us know your opinions. Let us know your takes. I'm Frank.
Don't forget to subscribe on YouTube.
Oh,
as
don't
well,
forget to do that
because
too,
Frank
yeah.
forgot to do. Frank forgot
Become a member of the Triple Take Squad. And
we get enough members, we get a Patreon.
Wow.
Lego. Anyway,
Where even more wild takes will be said.
Thank you for watching and hearing us yap about Superman. I'm Frank.
I'm Manny.
I'm disappointed. But I'm Joseph.
But it's still got an 8 out of 10.
Yeah.
Peace.